Hi everyone, it's John from What Up. Welcome back to another video. First off, I want to introduce Shantilla. She was our contest winner for 1,000 subscribers, and she got that What Up t-shirt and the What Upper bottle. Now, she lives in Germany, and the package literally took only a little over a week to get to her, which was, that's kind of crazy. Good job, Canada Post. A little shout out to you guys. Don't worry, if you guys want some of that What Up swag, you do have to wait for our next contest, but I will be having another one, and we'll have that around 2,500 subscribers. So just keep watching the channel and the videos, and as we get closer to 2,500 subscribers, I'll ramp up talking about the contest a bit more. We may change up the prizes based on your input on Twitter. So, what do we have for you this evening? Well, we have a couple of things. First off, I want to mention the community section, and in the community section, the link is down below in the description box. You want to click right to that. Is a podcast called Stuck on Arrakis, a really good podcast, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to the community section. But our main video tonight, well, it's going to be about a behind-the-scenes, unofficial, unsanctioned production video. Now, I'm not actually going to show the video itself, but we are going to show some stills, and we'll talk about what it is and what it could mean for the first season. All right, before we start, spoiler warning. In this video, I will be spoiling everything up to and including the end of The Great Hunt because I'm going to be wildly speculating about a few frames of video. So if you haven't read the first two books of the series yet, be forewarned, I may spoil anything and everything up to the end. All right, let's get on to the video. Alright, so spoiler warning out of the way, I do want to mention a couple of things before we start my wild speculation on what this can mean. The first thing is that once something reaches the internet, it is basically there for good. No amount of wishing or wanting makes it go away. The two videos, and I'm saying two videos even though I've seen them cut together as one, have been leaked by a member of the team on the Wheel of Time show. Now, I won't say which member or why, because I really don't know. I've heard rumors of what it could be, but I'm not going to speculate on that. I do know that with all of the NDAs and the tight secrecy around this show, stuff like this, Amazon takes it very seriously. Now, these videos initially made the rounds a few weeks ago, and they were promptly taken down by the people that put them up voluntarily. Now, recently they started making the rounds on Facebook again. I noticed in a few of the different Facebook groups, and people were asked by Amazon to take the posts down, the moderators of those groups. So these videos, they kind of gave credence to the fact that they were Wheel of Time videos, even though we kind of knew they were anyway. And I mean, Amazon did ask them to take it down, so in this video, I'm not showing the videos out of respect for Amazon. However, once something reaches the internet and once something is out there, it is there forever. It never goes away. No amount of wishing or wanting will ever make that happen. So what I've decided to do is I do want to talk about this because people are talking about it, but I'm only going to show a few stills from the videos themselves. That way I'm not kind of propagating the video itself. But we're going to talk about it because I'm sure at this point a lot of you have already seen these videos, and if you haven't, it's not really hard to find. So, what do we have? Well, they're videos involving wolves and white cloaks, which, oddly enough, you've seen the episode description and thumbnail, and not a big stretch to think that that's what this video is about. So, I have a few stills here, and we're going to go through them. Now, we have this first still. There's two stills you see here up on the screen. You've seen this one here. It shows them with the video camera. So this is a 100% behind-the-scenes shot taken by a cell phone or a camera on set, not by the Wheel of Time team, like officially. Now, these first two stills are from the first half of the video or the first video, depending on how you've seen it. Now, they seem to show a number of dogs being trained and, on set, which, makes me happy for a bunch of different reasons. Now, we're going to talk about this. Now, I've expressed concern in the past that CG could possibly be the make or break point for Wheel of Time. And I would like, and this is my personal opinion, I would like them to use practical effects as much as humanly possible, because practical effects, if they're done well, always look better than the CG on the screen. It's just really hard to make an animal or a person or something that moves and makes noise and interacts with other things around it really believable with CG. Now, I know some people are going to say, no, it's easy. I take computer science and I've done animation and stuff. Yes, it can be easy in some ways, but it's really hard to make it believable. Does that make sense? I've said it before. I've mentioned older movies that had bad CG, but I'm going to mention a new one, Call of the Wild with Harrison Ford. Now, I love Mr. Ford. I love him to death, but I will not see this movie Not in a million years. I've seen the trailers for it, and that was enough. As soon as I saw that dog, it just turned me right off. It's just terribly done. It's not believable that it's a real dog to me. Makes sense? So when I seen that, I immediately thought of the Wheel of Time and the wolves, and it scared me to no end. I thought, oh God, if they CG all the wolves in, especially the close-up shots, we're in so much trouble because they have to really nail it on the head. But as we see here, they are using real trained animals, at least for some of the shots, which makes me really happy. Now, we're going to get into the second part of the video, or the second video, again, depending on how you've seen them. And this is what most people have seen. Now, this part of the video shows a dog. I mean, they look like wolves, but they're dogs. On a table, and there's a trainer next to him and a cameraman next to him. And the trainer is coaxing the dog off the end of the table to jump into the gentleman at the end of the table here. So I think I have that in the next shot here. Yeah, here we go. So we see the cameraman there. So we know this is taken on set. We see the wolf jumping off the table onto a gentleman dressed all in white. So I'm going to go back a slide here for a second because we can see this gentleman a bit better. Now, I don't know about you, but he looks an awfully lot like what I would have imagined a white cloak to look like. Now, I've read all kinds of stuff online about people commenting about this video and how cheap it looks and how terrible the white cloak costumes look and how it looks like a small dog and not really like a wolf. This is part of the reason why Amazon doesn't want stuff like this to get out, because this is completely unfinished, completely unpolished, and completely unsanctioned. So people are going to look at this image that I'm showing up here and go, oh, they're going to pick it apart and they're going to say these are all the terrible things wrong with it. However, when it goes through final production, when the shot is in context, when you look at where the camera is and the angle of the shot they're taking, that dog is going to look much bigger, much meaner. So, there's that. And the costume itself, a lot of people have complained that the costume doesn't really look like a white cloak. To me, it looks a lot like a white cloak. But, again, you're getting a side view and a partial front view from a blurry, grainy, what appears to be cell phone video. So we can't say the costume's good or bad, because realistically that could be anything from a Halloween costume up to something that is fully big budget, $100 million movie ready costume. And if I had to put money on it and I had to say it, I'm going to say that costume probably is going to look pretty awesome on screen. Now, white cloaks are basically described as being in burnished, polished armor, so it's going to be shiny. It gleams to be white, and a white cloak, a white tabard, white gauntlets, white boots. They wear white and everything. They're white cloaks. That's why they're called white cloaks. So the big sunburst pattern or the shepherd's crook, depending if they're questioner or white cloak. Now, we can't see any of the details on this really, but it looks like to me white armor and white cloak. So he's a white cloak. Now, back to this other shot, and I'm not going to come off this one anymore. I want to talk about the scene itself and where I think it is. Now, white cloaks and wolves only really appear in the first two books a couple of times. Now, if you look at this shot, we have the wolf attacking a white cloak. That really, again, only happens a couple times. So when Egwene and Perrin first meet up with Elias and the wolves, and they head out on their own way, and they go into the steading, and the white cloaks find them, that's one scene. I don't believe this is that scene because, we don't see the structure that they're hiding it behind. We don't see the makeshift camp that they had set up. What we do see is we see white tents in the background. You can see them in the far right. You see another one that looks like to the far left, and further on in the background, something else that looks to be the opening of a tent. You also see a bunch of torches and braziers with flame in it. So this looks to be a permanent or semi-permanent camp set up by the White Cloaks, because they're described as using white tents in the series. So where could that be? Well, my money, if I had to guess on what these shots are from and what this video is from, is Chapter 37 of The Eye of the World. Now, Chapter 37 is when you take a look at it, you have Egwene and Perrin are already captured. They're in the White Cloak camp that's set up in the evening, so all the tents are set up, all the torches and stuff are set up. They're being held hostage, and Lan and Nynaeve and Moraine show up, and they go in and they try to rescue them. Now, Nynaeve is given the job of going and getting some horses to help carry them away, and she finds Bella in the picket lines, and she is hastily cutting the horses' reins, and she sees, in the whole commotion of everything that happens, wolves nipping and attacking the horses and attacking the White Cloaks. So to me, my money's on that this is probably the scene where Perrin and Egwene are being rescued by Moiraine and Lan and Nynaeve. Again, like I said at the beginning of this video, this is all wild speculation. And I do want to let you know that I'm not showing the video, again, out of respect for Amazon, but it's out there. People have seen it. It's been all over Twitter. It's been all over Facebook. It's been all over Reddit. Everyone's talking about it. So I don't think showing a couple of stills from this video and trying to paint it in a positive light are going to do much harm, because, like I said, I've seen a lot of negativity around this. But again, you guys have to understand, this is an unfinished, grainy behind-the-scenes footage. They're going to take those shots, and this could be a bunch of small action shots in a row to make a really big, nice, awesome picture. We don't know. Anyway, I want to know what you guys think about this. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of these videos, if you've seen them. If not, what do you think of the stills I've shown you, and what it could mean for the show. I personally am very optimistic that things are going to be great, mainly because they're using real animals, trained animals. I mean, they're going to have to filter in some CGI at some point or another, because Hopper does some things that a regular dog probably would not be able to do during the series. However, real animals, sometimes at least, means that we're going to see some really realistic stuff on the screen, which is good. And again, the White Cloak's costume, I think, looks fantastic, personally. We don't see a real good image of it, but I'm really optimistic it's going to look great. All right, so if you do like what I'm doing here, I do want to mention that please like the video, click on the subscribe button, click on that notification bell. I usually put out 2 to 3 videos a week. This is my second video this week, although they don't usually come out on the same set days and times, so if that notification bell is clicked, at least you'll know when I put out a video. Also, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. Like I said, we're going to have another contest at 2,500 subscribers, so if we boost those subscriber numbers a bit more, it's all the quicker for you guys to have a chance of getting some more swag. Alright, let's get on to the community section of the video. Hi everyone, welcome to the community section of the video. So after that heavy video we just did, on to some lighter fare. We have another podcast today, Stuck on Arrakis. Now this one is hosted by Leslie. Now Leslie is a first-time reader of the Wheel of Time. She's currently on book 7, and this is not just a Wheel of Time-centric podcast, it's more of a fantasy and other things as well, although she does do a lot of Wheel of Time stuff. So I'm going to read a little blurb that she left me here for you folks. So it says, join your host Leslie as she treks through the most intimidating fantasy and sci-fi series for the first time. Currently reading through the Wheel of Time, Twitter, and then I'll leave her Twitter and everything else down below. So I'll leave a link to her podcast, her Twitter, and stuff in the description box down below. But she is currently reading through the Wheel of Time for the very first time. She's on book 7, according to what the messages she sent me. So if you're a first-time reader, or you're slogging through the series for the first time as well, check out this podcast. She did mention that it was completely spoiler-free, so she does talk about things in such a way that she's not going to spoil the series for you if you haven't read the books yet, or if you're not that far along, or if you want to watch the show fresh, you can still take part in the Wheel of Time community in this way. Now, the other thing I do want to mention, folks, is if you are a Wheel of Time creator, and I've mentioned this on Twitter a couple of times, I'm running low on creators to host. I have a couple more to my next couple of videos, but then I'm done. So if you do have a podcast, a YouTube channel, other things of that nature, please let me know. Send me a DM on Twitter down below there. If not, you can just leave a comment in the channel. I can get a hold of you that way if you don't have Twitter. If you want to be featured in my videos in the community section. I do this as a way to bring awareness to the greater Wheel of Time community, because there's so many of us doing so many different things, and you know what? It's all awesome. I know everyone can't just look at everything and watch everything. You'd be in the house all day, every day. However, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and I hope to bring a little bit of that to other people as well. All right. Thank you all very much for sticking with me till the end of the video. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much, and here's to many more.